Welcome everyone to this exciting interview segment. Today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Andrew Walker, star of the movie Jingle Bell Run and Three Wiser Men and a Boy. Join us as we delve into Andrew's insights into his characters and the challenges of filming this movie. Thank you for being with us, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, can you tell us a little bit about your character in Jingle Bell Run?
Sure. My character's name is Wes Cosgrove, and I am an ex-NHL, which for all the Europeans out there is the National Hockey League. Ex-NHL hockey player, and I've been retired for a year, and I am trying to hold on to my stardom. I feel like I am losing my fame, and it's a very nerve-wracking thing. It's I'm losing my identity, and so I try to stay relevant by applying for this amazing race style show, and so it's basically me realizing that I need a partner in order to succeed, and this partner is a completely opposite character to who Wes Cosgrove is. She's an elementary school teacher, and she's actually a crossword puzzle queen. She and her and I together become the ultimate duo.
Great. And what initially attracted you to your role in this movie?
I played a high level of American football when I was growing up, when I was younger, and I had always had these dreams of playing professional football as I got older. And my whole life revolved around my athletics. And when I was injured and I realized I wasn't going to play football anymore any longer, I was going through an identity crisis, and I didn't know what I was going to do in my future. And so to be able to go back into that, to that time, and it really allowed me to have this uh it was a very therapeutic role, because it was something that I could go back and draw from these emotions and this experience that I had when I was younger, and and play it through the eyes of this hockey player, Wes Cosgrove. And I feel like this happens with a lot of professional sports athletes. When they retire, they go through this difficult time of realizing who they are, what the future holds now, this new future. And they're so young, they're in their mid 30s, late 30s when they retire from their sport. And it's at a time when they kind of peaked already. And to try to reinvent yourself is a very difficult thing. And so I love being able to explore that in playing this character.
That's amazing. And what was it like working with the rest of the cast and crew on set?
Well, this is a big ensemble cast because of all of the different characters that were part of the challenge, or part of the competition. Um, the supporting cast, in these movies is so important, and each each actor. The movie was shot in Vancouver, Canada, and fortunately, it's a big pool of very talented actors here in Vancouver. They call it Hollywood of the North up in Vancouver, Canada, and that's where I am right now. Actually, I'm here temporarily from Los Angeles, and so fortunately, we have a really talented pool to draw from, and my co-star Ashley Williams, she's had a very successful long career in half-hour comedy. She was on a show called How I Met Your Mother, and she's done a lot. Her and her sister are very, you know, uh, prominent actors, and so playing across from Ashley Williams was a real treat. and I felt very fortunate to have her as a guide and as somebody as a counterpart in allowing me to, in being there and supporting me in my comedic uh, in the comedic journey that we were on in this movie. So very very important, supporting cast, and I think that's what really made the movie what it is today.
Great. And what was your favorite scene or moment while filming this movie?
I mean, there was a lot of great moments, but there was one moment nearing the end of the movie when we are at the finish line, and we were shooting in the middle of this square with all these high-rise buildings around us, and we had the whole courtyard to ourselves. And it just felt like we were shooting this, big budget feature film that day because we had this huge courtyard to ourselves, high rises. The set decorations that day were really extravagant, and there was this big Christmas tree that we were running to the finish line. And we had stunt men on set that day, and it was the finale of the movie where Ashley and I are running to get through to the finish line, and I trip and fall, and I tell her to go without me, and it felt like a real big budget movie that we were shooting that day. So I think that was one of the most fun days that we had.
Great. So, change of subject. This is a question that I made to all the artists that I pleasure to talk with. What have been some of the most memorable projects you have worked on throughout your career and why for you?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
I think it's a bit of the old mixed with the new.
Yeah,
I think one of a role I've had a lot of pilots for ABC that didn't get picked up. It's just the nature of the business. You audition for so many different television shows, and ones that they might get picked up for 3 episodes or so. So there's a lot of these episodics that I had a great time shooting. However, I think because of the my supporting actor who I was working with, there was a movie called Steel Toes that I did that was a an indie film that I shot in Montreal, where I'm originally from, Montreal, Canada. It's based off a play called Cherry Docks, and there's an actor named David Strathairn who was nominated for an Academy Award for Good Night and Good Luck. He played Edward R. Murrow in that movie. Him and I starred in the feature film version called Steel Toes, and it was a two-hander independent film, and I think it was such a special movie to me because I hadn't worked for about a year, and it was at a time when I was questioning myself as an actor, and then I got this role with David, and he was a mentor of mine as we were shooting it, and we had so many great conversations about acting and about preparation and backstory, and he just allowed me to feel like I was on the right path, that I was supposed to be an actor, and he he propped me up, and he brought me he allowed me I felt so confident when I was working with him. And so when the movie aired, it did very well at the film festival circuit, and I won some awards. And then fast forward to, for whatever reason, this movie was the reason why I started working at Hallmark Movies. A director in Hallmark had seen my performance in this movie, and he hired me for my first Hallmark movie called Bride for Christmas because of this movie. So I think that movie is probably one of my more favorite movies and one of my more coveted films that I've ever done because of the how important it was to my journey as an actor. And I think the newest to make it current, the these past two movies that I've done, the Three Wiser Men and a Boy film that just aired this past 2 days ago.
yeah.
and Jingle Bell Run. I think those are also two of my more favorite movies, especially Three Wiser Men and a Boy, because of being able to revisit these characters again, and you don't really get that opportunity in Hallmark movies. So to dive deeper into the character development of Luke Brenner and to be able to work with these extremely talented actors, Tyler Hines and Paul Campbell, and doing this, the script was so well written, and the story was so rich, and this the it was a very complex comedy for Hallmark and telling real authentic stories, telling a real authentic story about what people really go through. I think that's what the appeal is to this movie. But so Three Wiser Men and a Boy and Steel Toes, I would say from 15 years ago.
Great. So, about Three Wiser Men and a Boy, can you tell us a little bit about your character in this movie and in the prequel, I can say? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the oldest of three brothers. My name is Luke Brenner, and Luke is a fire chief in the first movie, which was supposed to take place 5 years ago. I was a firefighter, and 5 years younger than what I am now. And so in this new movie, I am now the chief. I'm a dad to a 6-year-old boy. I'm now married, and I've lost my identity. I am just a dad, and I say just a dad because parents. That's what happens. Parents lose their identity. They forget who they used to be, being parents, because it's a selfless job, and it is all about your kids and raising your kids to be good human beings, and so I'm just trying to you know keep my head above water, and I have a lot of responsibilities at the fire station. I'm starting to feel a little bit of the older aches and pains that you get when you get older, and especially being a firefighter, I've put my body through a lot. And the guys at the fires, the people, my staff at the fire station, they don't really need me that much anymore either. So I feel like I'm losing my identity, and I'm not needed at the fire station. My mom brings home a new boyfriend named Pastor Roy, and Pastor Roy is now taking on all the dad duties. Where I was the oldest brother. I was the male, the male of the house. I was the one that did all the dad duties and put up the lights at Christmas time and bought the Christmas tree, and now Pastor Roy is doing all that. So now I'm no longer needed at the house from my mom, and I am and I'm only a dad. And so it's you're catching Luke at this time in his life where he is also having this identity crisis, uh, and we're now being tasked with the responsibility of having to save my son's Christmas play, because it was our fault that it isn't happening. It isn't going on anymore because my brothers ended up ruining the entire play.
Oh, and what do you hope audiences will take away from watching this chapter of Three Wiser Men and a Boy?
I hope that mothers can watch this movie and just and take a moment to realize that they are they are so underrated and not recognized the way that they should be recognized. Mothers are everything. They are what makes they bring a sense of of calm and a sense of they are the matriarch of the family, and I don't think we recognize that. I think that life goes by, and it's just the expectation, but mothers aren't held up on that pedestal enough. And so this movie is a celebration, in recognition and recognizing what mothers go through. Um, and you see it in Margaret Collin, the woman who plays the actress that plays our mother. She has this amazing speech that's written by Kimberly Sustad. Paul Campbell, Kimberly Sustad, and Russell Hainline are the three writers of this movie, and Kimberly is the one that really brings that, those speeches, those heartfelt speeches. They all come from Kimberly Sustad, and so Margaret has this beautiful speech about that she's not just a mom; she is somebody who needs to find love and to be loved. And so it's a beautiful speech, and so I hope people take away the sense, the idea that, yeah, that it's that it's a celebration of mothers. Also, I hope people can have a lot of laughs. I hope people can sit there and just escape, watch this movies, and I think that this is a more dynamic film than the first movie. I think it's richer in quality, in visually, as well as in story. Um, Happiness. I hope this movie brings happiness and joy, as all Hallmark movies do. But no, it's a real special movie to me. We put a lot of work into this, and a lot of attention into making this, into elevating this from the first movie. And there's a lot of pressure, when the first movie aired, it was the number one most watched movie on cable television of 2022. So there's a lot of pressure coming into this movie, wanting to really deliver for the fans. So this movie is a little ode to mothers and an ode to the fans.
Great. And what was it like working again with the rest of the casting crew on this set?
Well, you don't really get that opportunity, like I said, to revisit characters and to revisit movies in Hallmark. We do one-off movies of the week, and so to be able to get back on set again with Margaret Collin and Tyler Hines and Paul Campbell, is was such a it was such a treat, and um, we have this unspoken comfortability and support that we bring to each other as actors, and we're each one of us are so different, and really I want to pinpoint this the little boy who played Thomas, Miles. um Miles was a diamond in the rough. We needed to find, this was arguably one of the most important characters in this sequel. And Miles was so dynamic, and he was such a cutie, and he was such a good sport. And he forgot that he was on set. He forgot that he was acting. He was so in the moment, and I love, that's what I love about working with kids and animals, because they really, they make you they bring you, suck you into their world, and you're able to just like play, and so Miles was really an incredible find, and he just made it so much easier for us to just show up to work and be excited to see where the day would take us. And it is very much like you're building a home. When you shoot a movie, you start with the foundation, and you just try to bring little bits and pieces to every single scene. um, and you shoot the movie out of order, right? You don't shoot the first scene first. So we could be shooting the end of the movie on day one and the middle of the movie on day two. So you're just trying to figure out where you are in the story, and just trying to make every scene the best it could possibly be. And I feel like everybody showed up and really had that goal in mind. So it's just such a amazing, talented group of actors to work with. So I just feel very fortunate I was able to be a part of this in general.
That's amazing. So, uh, can you tell us a little bit, talking about another experience of yours, about your experience in the series of movies of a Curious Caterer?
In the what story? In the
Curious Caterer.
Oh, the Curious Caterers. Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's again, you don't really get an opportunity to work with the same people over and over again. And you, my Curious Caterer films, we've done five now, and they're being very well received, which I'm very happy about. And I'm working with a really great friend of mine and also an actress that I've been working with for 10 years now, Nikki DeLoach. And she is also an aspiring director. She shadowed our last movie. She's an extremely smart storyteller, actress, and she's a multi-talented uh, artist. And these stories just keep getting better and better. I always wonder, like, where are the writers going to take us now? And it's Tom Schultz is such a different character than any other character I get to play on any Hallmark movies. He's a recluse. He's an introvert. He doesn't like being around people that much. So it's so different than my natural instincts and qualities as who I am as a person. I love being around people and I love entertaining and I love being at parties. But Tom Schultz is the complete opposite to Andrew Walker as a person. Um, and Goldie's bringing out this side to him. She's the yin to my yang, and so again, this is a series that wouldn't be what it was without the supporting cast. We have some amazing people that are involved in this movie. The actress that plays Marla, Goldie's best friend, my partner, in the movie as well, who's played by the actor Riley Davis. Lachlan Monroe, who plays Goldie's ex-husband. He's an extremely talented actor who they call him the Kevin Bacon of Canada. He's worked with everybody, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. He's worked with everybody. So there's a group of heavy hitter actors that we all get to work together and tell these really compelling mystery stories. And I think it's a darker mystery series for Hallmark. Yeah, it's called Curious Caterer, but outside of the the Goldie character playing this nosy caterer who's also so tied in, to the community. Um, Outside of that, it's a dark mystery for Hallmark, and people are really enjoying it. It's I can't wait to bring people more Curious Caterers.
Yeah. And we are expecting more. So, and change of subject again, a quick question. At Survivor shows, we are big fans of Christmas rom-coms. What is your all-time favorite?
Outside of Hallmark, or one that I've done.
Uh, what do you prefer?
I would say um, one of my favorite Christmas rom-coms. You know, if I'm going to call out one of my own or a Hallmark one, I have to say it's probably Three Wiser Men and a Boy after seeing it three times now. I did one called A Dream of Christmas back a bunch of years ago with Nikki DeLoach as well. But it's funny, Love Actually is a movie that it was a slow burn for me. The first time I saw it, it didn't really do anything for me. And then as I've seen it more and more every single year, I just enjoy it so much more now, and it gives me all the feels. It warms me on the inside. I think it really does everything a holiday rom-com should do, and that's bring people on this journey of love and hope and happiness, and give you that Christmas vibe, that Christmas feel.
Great. So the last question, can you tease something about your next projects?
Yes, I can. I was actually over in Europe a month ago shooting a movie for the Hallmark streaming, the Hallmark Plus
Yeah.
streaming, the app that they have now. And it is a movie called The Reluctant Royal. Um, and I don't know if sometimes they change the names in the last minute, so I don't know if they're going to stay with that name, but it's called Reluctant Royal as of now, and it is it is a full blown comedy. It's a broad comedy. It's about a mechanic from Philadelphia that finds out that he's of royal descent. He's from a royal lineage, and he gets brought over to save the to save the kingdom, or the duchy. He comes over to save the duchy. And so, yeah, it's going to probably air sometime early next year, but I don't have the date just yet. But it's going to be a fun movie.
Great. So this is it. Make sure all of you to go to Jingle Bell Run and Three Wiser Men and a Boy on Hallmark Plus. And thank you, Andrew, to join us today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for your time. And thank you all for watching. Bye!
Bye.